Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and we are at Mark Miller Subaru today looking at the all-new 2018 WRX. This particular WRX is all loaded up and actually has some goodies from the STI, but let's just get right into it. If we look under the hood here, we have that 2-liter turbocharged flat 4, and in the WRX it puts out 268 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque, and that goes to all 4 wheels through a 6-speed manual transmission. If we finish the tour up front, we can see these nice LED lights that wrap around with the projector bulbs, and then you got this in place. We'll go over the STI later today, but this actually in the STI is an air intake, but there you can see it's where you got the fog lamp, and then you got this aggressive hood scoop up front to let more air into the engine. And then coming around to the side, we have these nice kind of, they look, I don't know if it's coming through on the camera, it almost looks gloss black on the camera, but they're kind of like this glossy gray on those really aggressive and sticky tires. Come out back, we can see the STI trunk applique. That's that nice carbon fiber, and you do get the quad tip exhaust, but we can just open the trunk up here, and you're still going to get those nice rubber floor mats, as well as the really nice WRX cloth mats. But yeah, this has pretty similar space to the Impreza sedan, and that's because they're built off pretty much the very similar chassis, and so the space on these is going to be pretty similar as well. Coming around to the back, we can see this beautiful leather that has a nice red contrast stitching to match that exterior color, and we can see that it's going to have quite a bit of space, nice little cup holders there, just like in the Impreza. And I have this seat a little bit further back compared to what I usually sit in, but I mean, I still got plenty of space back here, and so it's a nice comfortable place to be. Popping around front, we do have that nice keyless entry, and you are going to get those nice power adjustments for the seat, those controls for the window, the Harman Kardon sound system, and you're gonna get, you still do get the safety tech just like all the other Subarus. So you got that blind spot warning right there, and we can see this nice steering wheel here that has all this controls for cruise control. You got your little controls for the voice commands, and it is not a complete flat bottom, but the bottom is a little bit flatter on the steering wheel, which is really nice, and it feels really nice in your hands. And you got the shifter for the 6-speed manual, which actually has really short throws to get into all of the gears. You can actually even get a shifter that has shorter throws than this. You got your little parking brake there, controls for the heated seats, and then the little center console right there with the USB and 12-volt. And then those nice seats that have these really nice bolsters on them with the red contrast stitching. You got more of that carbon fiber trim on the inside. And if we open up the glove box, I don't know if it'll let me open it up. Oh, it looks like it's locked. So you actually can lock the glove box, but it's got plenty of space in there. And then you get a nice sunroof that you can get optioned out on this. The controls for it are right there. Got all of your analog controls for the climate controls. Start up the new WRX, you have to push the clutch down, have the key fob on you, and just push the engine start-stop button, and it'll start right up. And it actually has a really nice exhaust note for being a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. It's probably the nicest sounding exhaust you can get out of a 4-cylinder. But you got your tachometer over here on the left hand side, you got your speedo on the right, and then the little gauges in the center. You get more of those instrument gauges right there, and then you do get Subaru's nice little infotainment system for the radio. For if you have navigation equipped, you can also use all that, and so it's super easy to use. I always forget the backup camera, so to put it in reverse, you just have to lift this up and push it all over, and the little pattern will show you that. But you do get this nice backup camera that has the little lines that'll show you exactly where you're going. So overall, this is actually a really nice interior on a sports car like this, and I love these seats, how they hug you and hold you in place. They're just super nice. So we are setting off here in the 2018 WRX, and like I said, this has that manual transmission in it, which would be my preferred transmission. I can see why you would get the CVT. The CVT is a really great transmission. As we saw in the other videos, it's responsive. It's actually pretty quick to shift. But obviously, this being a sports car, I'm I'm a sucker for manual transmissions, and so I always just go that route. It's just my thing. But kind of comparing this, I'm actually going to compare this to the Impreza, believe it or not, because it's going to be a little bit of a different vehicle altogether. It's like the sportier version. She expected the ride quality to be a lot rougher since this is a sports car, but it's actually super smooth, surprisingly. I mean, it soaks up the bumps super nice, and it just kind of glides along, which I was pleasantly surprised on. And I've driven these before, and you can corner on a dime with these, and so it's nice that they have that nice ride quality, but then it's also just as smooth as well. Obviously, the thing that this car is most famous for is the engine that it has, that turbocharged 2-liter, which is actually really responsive, even on the low end when it doesn't have its full amount of power, when you're not really into those turbos. It's still, it's still a really quick car. And I really love this steering wheel. It's something that I'm noticing most about this interior. The shifter feels really nice, but the steering wheel, just the overall feel of it, and that little kind of flat bottomed area feels super nice in your hands. I'm just letting this car warm up a little bit, so I'm keeping the RPMs really low. But I mean, just getting into those turbos even a little bit, it immediately starts to push you back into your seat. This car is actually really quick. And I mean, 268 horsepower doesn't sound like a lot, but this car doesn't weigh all that much. I mean, these cars are close to right around 3,000 pounds. They're a little bit more than that. But I mean, it's plenty of power to move this car around. And I love the sounds that this is making. You kind of hear the sounds out of the exhaust. You can hear the intake sound. And I overall love the sound. Like I said, this is probably one of my favorite sounding 4-cylinders. And usually don't expect 4-cylinders to sound great, but I mean, Subaru's done an amazing job with this car and the sounds that it makes. So we're just about to get on the interstate here. I'm going to create a little bit of space. Well, probably a lot of space between the person in front of me, just because this car is going to be quite a bit quicker than some of the other cars that I've tested recently. And so I'm just kind of let a little bit of a gap form so that I can get a proper acceleration on this. And the traffic is getting a little bit busier, so it is getting a little bit harder to get acceleration runs here, but I've got plenty of space now. Oh yeah, I mean, this car's plenty quick. You get up to speed so quickly in this. It's incredible how quick this is. And once you really get into those turbos, I mean, you're kind of thrown back in your seat and you move, and it's incredible. And the downshifts on this are really, it's super easy to rev match in this car actually. The downshifts are, I mean, it's incredible. You can, I mean, you don't even have to try, and you can rev match with this incredibly easily as well. And so the engine's just, I mean, it's amazing how easy this engine is to drive. Yeah, so what I would say overall, impression-wise on this, is if you're looking for a sportier sedan, and you know, you need the extra space that this has, because this has a good amount of space. So you want that sportier sedan with more space, and you want something that's going to be fun to drive, that you can drive all year round, then I would definitely check one of these out. Because I mean, this has plenty of power, it's got plenty of get up, it's super easy to drive, and that manual transmission is, I mean, that manual transmission is really fun actually. Yeah, this is such a sweet car. I would very highly recommend checking one of these out before you get something, because this is actually a really fun sports sedan. Have it, everyone, the all-new 2018 Subaru WRX. Again, special thanks to Mark Miller for providing us with this vehicle. You can pick it up at one of their 2 locations. Thank you everyone so much for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like, comment down below what you thought, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see all of you in that next video.